I've got a story that I really don't want to talk about, but I kind of have to because it's popped up on everybody's feed, and it's a little bit of an implication on, you know, certain leftists out there. One in particular, her name is Natalie Wynn, also known as Contrapoints. She is a YouTuber and she is very talented. I've watched many of her shows, on YouTube, and they're all very well done. She puts a lot of effort into it, and she's not so much funny as she is pretty insightful, and she does a her video structures are, you know, separated by chapters. She does these very long form videos, and she does a lot of research for them. She also does a lot of, set design that is pretty impressive. And needless to say, I have been a fan of hers for quite a while. And not to mention the fact that she's also a transgender woman. And me being transgender, just somebody else that I look to go, hey, a positive force out there for good. She maybe it's a possibility that she's been able to convert, transgender hateful people. Maybe she's been able to turn some of them around, convert them, and I think that's a positive. And generally speaking, I think that she is a positive force, but recently she's done something that is not very good. This is Natalie Wynn right here. She's very lovely. She's smart. She's funny, and she's good at what she does. I just wanted you to take a look and see who we're talking about here. Now, recently, she has put out a post. A lot of her fans have been reaching out to her and saying, hey, the war in Gaza has been going on for about 20 months now, and it is wretched. It's horrible. It's a genocide, and you've not spoken up about it. She is... I believe the phrase is she's part of Breadtube, which is a leftist group of people on YouTube that talk about leftist things. And the fact that Natalie Wynn has not spoken about any of this stuff has I don't want to say upset some of her fans, but they are starting to question 20 months into this genocide, why hasn't she done a show about it? And her answer is, it's not great. Okay, so she put out this post earlier today, or it was yesterday. God damn, I don't want to do this. Jesus. So many leftists feel betrayed because I haven't made a video on Palestine. Do they actually want a ContraPoints video about Palestine? Will they be happy if I get into a bath and pour milk on a mannequin of Benjamin Netanyahu? She has done stuff like that, where she's gotten in a bathtub and she's got, water and flowers and she's in there with a mannequin. So, for comic factor and, just the art of it all. But, okay. If I get in a bath and pour milk on a mannequin of Benjamin Netanyahu, no. I have posted about Gaza occasionally, and I have quietly given money to Palestine and organizations, but I think what leftists really want is for me to join their chorus of anger. Honey, if you've been watching 20 months of a genocide and you're not angry, I don't know what to say to that. They sensed some hesitation on my part. Yeah, no shit. 20 months. And are judging me very harshly on my presumed opinions. I'd rather be judged on my actual opinions, so here they are. Is Israel committing a genocide? Yes. Do I oppose it? Yes. Do I feel angry about it? Yes. If she had ended that with free Palestine, nobody'd be saying jack shit about this right now. But do I feel angry about it? Yes. But I also feel other things. This week after, the week after October, see, now this is what she does in her videos, this whole part 1, part 2, part 3 kind of thing, which is interesting how she breaks up her videos into chapters like that. But now she's doing this post like she's doing one of her videos. Anyway, whatever. The week after October 7th, it was clear the mood among Israeli leaders and civilians was overwhelmingly kill or be killed, existential panic, and unstoppable lust for revenge. Yeah. It reminds me of the U.S. after 9/11. There was no reasoning or protesting them out of it. Does it mean that we shouldn't protest them or, try to reason them out of it? I mean, obviously you haven't tried this yet. Maybe do your part as a leftist breadtuber. Nor was it politically feasible for the United States to withdraw aid to Israel. Wrong. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Joe Biden could have said to Benjamin Netanyahu, stop or you will get no more weapons from me, period. That is our absolute right. Israel would not be doing anything that they are doing without our help. 70% of the aid that they get comes from us, and all of the weapons come from us, which is one of the reasons why America is so fucking pissed off about this situation, or at least people on the left. They are pissed off because we are directly funding this. People in Israel get free education, free healthcare, because we provide all of the other services, including all the bombs that they use to bomb everybody, including Palestinians. We have absolutely every bit of power over them. They are our proxy state. They are our 51st state. They are, according to Alexander Haig, it is true, the unmovable, unsinkable aircraft carrier, American aircraft carrier in the Middle East. For her to say that, she's not dumb. She's smarter than this. Nor was it politically feasible for the U.S. to withdraw aid to Israel. Honey, Ronald Reagan did that shit. When they were doing it during Ronald Reagan's presidency, he's like, cut it out, and they cut it out because they know that they won't get any more weapons or funding from us on a timeline that would make a difference. God, you're absolutely wrong about that. It would have required replacing most of Congress and overturning decades of bipartisan strategy and diplomacy. Even in the best case scenario, it would have taken years. No, honey, it would have taken a phone call. One phone call from the president. That would have been it. And you know this. Even in the best case scenario, it would have taken years, so there was a sense of futility, but worse. The leftist pro-Palestine movement quickly decided that their primary goal was not merely opposition to the genocide, but opposition to Zionism in general. Yes, absolutely. Zionism is an ethno-state. If you are on the left, you do not agree with an ethno-state wherever it is, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's Israel, or whether it's Christo-fascism here in the United States. We do not believe that a fundamentalist religion should run a government. And Zionism is an ethnic distinction. They are white, the Palestinians are brown. We need to clear them out so we can have a pure Jewish state. The one thing that John Kerry said that was actually true, he said regarding Israel, you can either have democracy or you can have an ethno-Jewish state. You can't have both. They are completely in contravention of each other. That is opposition to the existence of Israel as a Jewish state. And here they decided to draw the line separating decent people from genocide fascists. Honey, if you are supporting Zionism and a ethno-state in Israel, I'm sorry, you're a genocidal fascist. You just are. You are, even if you are here or in Israel, doesn't matter. If you are a Zionist, which by the way, the majority of Zionists in this country are Christians. And we all know how that turns out according to the Bible. All of the Jews will be living in Israel, and at the end of the tribulation, Jesus comes down and slaughters all of them except for a handful that are quote-unquote Jews for Jesus. And then the end of the tribulation, the blood is as high as the horse's bridle after this, and Jesus comes down with a sword and slays them all. That's what the Christian Bible says, and that's what Christians believe in. So a Christian Zionist wants all of the Jews dead anyway. Here they decided to draw a line separating decent people from genocide fascists, which had the following consequences. It shrunk the coalition. Zionist is a very broad category. No, it's not. No, it's not. Most Jews are Zionist. No, they're not. They're not. Maybe most of the Jews living in Israel, because they've been propagandized to for years and years and years, especially the last couple years since October 7th. But no, honey, most of them are not Zionist. Anyone who supports a two-state solution is a Zionist. Well, honey, I support a one-state where it is democratic and everybody is free. That's what we should all want. That's what I want in this country. It's a democracy, and we're all free. We're all free to believe whatever God we want to and vote Republican or Democrat or whatever. We're all free. It's called democracy. That's what we want for Israel as well. It was politically infeasible. What is the pathway that takes us from the present situation to the dissolution of Israel as a Jewish state? I don't see how this could happen without either a total internal collapse of Israel's society or else, nuclear war. Like I said, all it would take is a phone call from the president to tell them to cut it out, and they'd cut it out. As usual, leftists have championed a doomed cause. I mean, this is basically saying I'm no longer a leftist. It introduced dangerous ambiguities, the vagueness of Zionism. Honey, you are being vague about Zionism. I just told you what Zionism means. There's no vagaries to it. As a political Satan, enables all kinds of rhetorical abuses. On the one hand, right-wing Israelis hold up all anti-Zionist protests as existentially threatening and inherently anti-Semitic. Honey, I can look at any psycho-fascist right-winger and slow them off. Just because I am anti-Zionist does not mean that I am anything like a fucking right-winger who wants ethnic cleansing. I mean, you're conflating the two things. People who are against genocide and people who are for genocide. And just because we use the same word Zionist or we're against Zionism does not make us the same thing. On the other hand, there is a long history of anti-Semitism, anti-Semites using the term Zionist in deliberate ways, Zog, etc. I believe that's a South African reference. Anti-Semites are happy for the opportunity to misappropriate the now popular anti-Zionist label to be legitimize their agenda. And many people are not informed enough about anti-Semitism to recognize when it is happening. Well, honey, why don't you help in informing people? I mean, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to know the difference between somebody who is against genocide and somebody who hates Jews. These problems are mutually reinforcing. I don't think that that's all. I think that there's more to it than this. Hold on. Is there more? I swear I thought that there was more. Nevertheless, look. When you start off, first of all, you ignore it for 20 months. And when people ask you to talk about it, you ignore it for 20 months. And then you come out with this long diatribe of, yeah, I'm against the genocide, but honestly, you'd have been better off just not saying anything at all. It reminds me of, what's the guy's name? Tom York of Radiohead, who, when asked about it, pretty much gave exactly the same answer. Yeah, it makes me sad when I see people dying, but, is my band still going to perform in Israel? Yeah, of course we are. Honey, this is what we see in Gaza. This is before and after. Gaza before, Gaza after. You've watched 20 months of this. You've seen this on television. She mentions in, I believe her post does go on, and I just can't find the other page, but she mentions that that leftists are using this kind of anti-Zionist rhetoric. Good God, man, look at I can't get over the destruction of this. This is what we're seeing right now. This is Gaza right now. Bombing hospitals, blowing up children, shooting children. 90% of the people killed in Gaza are just civilians. Benjamin Netanyahu says that they're using them as human shields. Well, here in America, honey, if there is somebody taken hostage, you don't shoot through the fucking hostage to get the bad guy. Just because they're bad guys doesn't mean you have to kill the person to get to them. But that's Netanyahu's theory. There's got to be more to this than that, just that. This is the only place I could find it, honestly, but it is absolutely depressing.
Israeli soldiers have been speaking to local media about the killings at the food sites. The Haaretz newspaper says soldiers were ordered to deliberately shoot Palestinians near aid centres, despite them not posing a danger to anyone. We're going to go now to Hamda Salut in Jordan's capital, Amman. She's there because the Israeli government has banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel, as well as the occupied West Bank. Hamda, this is a remarkable admission. What more was revealed in these reports?
A shocking admission in the Israeli newspaper Haaretz that interviewed a lot of different soldiers and commanders talking about how they were given orders to shoot and kill Palestinians who were seeking aid in order to disperse the crowds. Now, for nearly a month since this all began on May 27th, the Israeli military and the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation have...
All those people out there, they've come from all over Gaza to come down to the southern tip of Gaza, where Israel has supposed food banks for these people. And then when they get down there, they shoot them. Every day, at least 50 to 100 people are shot every day with this bit of bullshit here.
Denied or downplayed the fact that there are Palestinians getting killed while they are seeking aid. People in Gaza have said that these distribution centers have now become a trap for Palestinians. And several different AIDS groups have said that the Palestinians are left with no choice to either starve to death or die seeking the very little food that is offered within the distribution centers from the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which from the beginning was this sort of shadowy group, incredibly controversial. Still unclear who exactly is backing it, who exactly gave it this initial funding. The Israelis denied it, the Americans...
It's Bibi Netanyahu. One of the things that Contrapoints or Natalie Wynn said is that she's blaming leftists for sharing all of the videos of these starving kids or these killed children or just killed civilians, and it's the leftist fault because they're so busy sharing all of this stuff. Honey, it is not leftists that are sharing this. It's Gazans. Nobody is allowed into Gaza. Israel has made, that fact very obvious. They don't let in reporters. They don't let anybody into Gaza, and they sure as shit don't let anybody out of Gaza. The people who are reporting this footage that you're seeing right now, it is from a Gazan with a phone camera. It is Gazans that are showing what is happening to them and their people and showing what is their daily lives. It's not leftists online sharing this shit. It's the people of Gaza who are being genocided. And Natalie Wynn is accusing the leftists of perpetrating this. What are they sharing it? This footage is coming from Gazans themselves. And to blame it on leftists, I mean, honey, the right wing sure as shit isn't showing any of this stuff. They don't want anybody to know this stuff. The only way this stuff gets out is because a Gazan actually filmed it. A poor Palestinian person who's probably starving to death shot this video. It's not leftists.
Denied it, but many are pointing the finger at the Israelis for wanting to control all of the humanitarian distributions in order to get more access militarily inside of Gaza. But what this report is saying is that the 549 Palestinians who've been killed in the last month seeking aid were killed by Israeli soldiers who were given orders to do so.
Like you say, a remarkable and shocking, Hamda.
Look at them. They look like fucking ICE agents. They got their faces covered. They're armed to the gills. They got their flak jackets and their helmets on. But yet they're probably screaming that Gazans are the ones who are the violent ones. I'm sorry, Natalie. You are a trans sister and you have been a force for good up until this point. I'm not saying you're written off completely. This whole, the left does all the canceling. No, honey, nobody's canceling her. We're just critiquing her and criticizing her for her shit take. Normally her takes are not shit, but this is an absolute shit take. Playing this both sides thing is not helpful. You're doing the centrist thing where, the right wing is bad, but so is the left. Honey, I am sick and fucking tired of this idea that it's a both sides issue. The right wing are fucking fascists. They're psychotic. They're lunatics. They're cutting the social safety net. They are, they want war in the Middle East. They want to police our streets with ICE Gestapo. They are fucking up the economy with their trade deals, with their lack of trade deals. They're, Donald Trump he's threatening World War III with fucking Putin. That's the right. The left is, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had health care? Wouldn't it be great if we raised the minimum wage? We had some paid sick leave? Those two things are not weighed the same. Those are not similar sides of crazy. One just wants to give you health care and one wants to take it away. But both sides, as far as the Gaza issue, most right-wingers, just normie right-wingers, conservatives, they don't give a shit about this. They've just grown up knowing that Israel is picked by God and you should leave them alone because God loves Israel. I guarantee you, if there was a fucking God, he would not be appreciating what Netanyahu and the Likud party is doing in Israel in his name. It's absolute horseshit. This is not a both sides argument. This is one is for genocide, one is not. You've been better off just keeping your goddamn mouth shut. Anyway, it's a real shame that she has this ridiculous take. It's weak and it's wrong at the same time. Anyway, I feel really bad, calling her out onto the carpet about this, but god damn, man. I am so tired of fighting this fight against right wingers. To have somebody come in from the left and defend it, or to both sides it, man, that is just it's sad. It is disappointing. And girl, hope you learn your lesson with this, because you are absolutely wrong. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.